Hello, welcome to Community Builders, the podcast where we get to know some of the big decision makers in our community, and I am honored to be here today with my guest, Mike, the district attorney. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and looks like clouds will go away.
Yeah,
It'll be a wonderful day and in the neighborhood.
And that's what happens when we do a Community Builders episode. The clouds part, the sun comes out. Let's start with a bird's eye view. What is a district attorney?
Okay, well, the district attorney is the main cog of the criminal justice system. And then every other member of the criminal justice system, what do you mean? Yeah, because we all believe that we're the main cog.
That's
and
good,
then
though.
I'll get in the room with Corey and we'll spar about that. So
that'll be another episode. Yeah, the spar.
So basically, what happens with the district attorney is we make the decision as to all of the reports that come in from the law enforcement agencies as to whether or not they're sufficient to take someone to court. And this is something that kind of the public probably doesn't understand too much.
Right.
Is in California, only the district attorney can charge a case. Many times what we see in the media is the police today arrested and charged someone with this crime. That's false. Because what happens is the police arrest someone, they book them on suspicion charges, and then those reports come to the district attorney, and myself or one of my deputies makes a decision. Is there sufficient evidence to prove a case against this person beyond a reasonable doubt? And so, in a sense, this is kind of, we're in a bit of the filter between law enforcement and the courts.
Right.
And making sure that only those cases where we believe, and where we believe a jury will believe, that the person is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
What does a typical day look like for you? Is it office? Is it out in the field?
That's the beauty of it. I never know what a typical day is going to be. I have a very low threshold of boredom, so this is what makes the job so fascinating. I might be out in the field on a case, a particularly important case, usually officer-involved shootings. I am in the field and will be out in the field for quite some time. A lot of office work in the sense of my guys, my deputies coming in and saying, here's the facts of this particular case. What do you think should be charged, not charged? What additional investigation needs to be done? And so that's not an untypical day. Citizens calling in, and getting a call maybe from a defense attorney saying, I've got additional evidence, okay, let's hear about it. And that may change our view about whether this case is viable or not.
It does sound fascinating. It sounds like there's a lot of points of interest, and for someone with a low threshold of boredom, I'm the same way. I love having a job where it puts me in different places. It allows me to kind of learn about different things. How did you know you wanted to do this? Is this something that was always on your radar?
No, not at all. In some senses, I was born into a family that had both sides of the criminal justice coin.
Oh, wow.
In a sense, my dad was game warden in the area. And I got to go out with him as a youngster on patrol.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Up until a fateful day in which we were up in the hills, and it was a dark and stormy, not quite stormy, but drizzly day, and it was dark, and came up to a gate. And Dad got out of the patrol car and was going to open it up, and suddenly the windshield exploded with a gunshot. And so Dad got back in and said, I think we're headed back home.
Oh, my God.
Someone shot out the windshield.
Wow, just because they didn't want you in that area?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, and so as he said, going back, says, better not tell Mom. Or this is our last patrol.
Okay.
I didn't tell Mom, but it was our last patrol.
It still was, okay.
Anyway, so
yeah.
So but the other side of the family, they had there's my grandfather, and it's been 100 years now. It was a very famous trial in Oroville. At the time, he was a premier bootlegger during Prohibition.
In Oroville?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he was being tried, and the county librarian a few years ago gave me all the headlines, and it was
That's funny.
Orville's version of the crime of the decade.
Right.
And so they were trying him, and I saw all the headlines, and it put me back to the time that when Grandpa, I think he was in his 80s, he came to stay with us after an operation. And he told me all the stories about being a bootlegger. And he never drank.
Interesting.
Strictly a business.
Right.
But that kind of side of the family, when I went to graduated from Oroville High School in the 60s, I went down to UC Berkeley on a scholarship to study quantum physics and mathematics.
Okay.
And so that was kind of my direction in life, was the sciences. I loved the sciences, I loved math, and so
Something
forth.
changed your path a little bit.
Well,
Okay.
one of my math professors was an interesting character, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
Wait a minute. One of your math professors was the Unabomber?
Ted
Not
Kaczynski.
just someone with the same name?
No.
What was he like?
It's what everyone asks. Yeah. And it's what the U.S. attorney who was trying him one time asked when he was finally brought in.
Yeah.
He was a complete dud.
Interesting.
And so he was so forgettable that I forgot about him until such time as all the publicity on him. They said, okay, he was a math professor at Berkeley, and the student review of him in the student paper was that he taught from the book. He was dull as dishwater and everything. I go, I remember that guy. I think, I took theory of sets from him, and so went back and go, holy moly, it's him. Because what happened is he had an early morning class, and in that early morning class, I hated the early morning classes, and so first class, he just went up there and taught from the book, chapter 1. Okay. Second class, same thing. Started on the third class going the same way, and excuse me, Professor, how do you grade? Are you participation? No, just the midterm and the felony. And I said, or felony, midterm and final. And at that, I said, okay, when are those? And that's the next two times.
That you should have. Okay, funny.
I saw him.
So no rants or raves or polemics about the government. He just taught from the book,
Just,
and that.
Wow. It was obvious he didn't really want to be there.
His mind was elsewhere.
Yeah, okay, how do I do that? Well,
Yeah. Wow. Oh my.
well before. But anyway, so that was my direction.
Right.
But I always wanted to, in a sense, my heart was in the Butte County community, particularly having grown up in Oroville.
Yeah.
And I got thinking, there's not going to be a lot of kind of pull or jobs for someone that has got math or physics. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll take those 2 degrees, but I'll get another backup degree in history.
Wow.
And then got back into town, and I had worked during the summers at the cannery, the local cannery, which was just great because it's a different kind of demographic that I'd be very familiar with, and later.
Right.
And so working there, and then I had an opportunity to become a substitute teacher, because back then, early 70s, that if you had a university degree, you could go down to the county school's office, sign up, become a substitute teacher. Became a substitute teacher thinking, let's check this teaching thing out.
Yeah.
See if that works out. Not really. Substitute teaching is not really teaching. It's lion taming. You have a chair and a whip, and that's that lasted for a while until, and life is always strange. The local Oroville Mercury sports editor, the Oroville Mercury, much like the Chico Enterprise, they're much bigger. I think we had like 8 reporters and so forth, and the sports editor and sports desk and so forth. He wanted to expand his kind of readership and not just be high school and college sports, but to go get into local fishing and hunting. He had heard the go-to person was my dad,
right?
the
game warden.
Former game warden. So he when my dad asked, "Hey, you want to? This character's going along. We're going to go fishing up in the lake. We'll talk with him." We were fishing. Dad, of course, says, "Hey, my son, he can write good."
It's an endorsement.
Wow, thanks, Dad, a lot. So the guy says, "Hey, well, you want to write some stuff? You available to do that?" I said, "Yeah, sure." I was the editor of the Oroville High School Tiger Tales, the newspaper there.
Oh, okay.
So it was. So he said, "Okay, so do some writing." Mm-hmm. He liked a few of the stories, a little hunting, fishing, not a column, but just some stories. Yeah. Then he was a large man. He was at the newspaper. He turned in his chair, fell out of his chair, and broke his knee. Oh. The editor of the paper then called me up and says, "Hey, kid, understand you're editor of your paper. You want to come work just until this guy gets back. You can be the acting sports editor."
There you go.
And I said, "Okay, I'll do that." I found out later he thought I was the editor of the Berkeley.
Oh, funny. Yeah.
But
he didn't even have to lie on the resume. He did it for you.
Yeah. So I did kind of the sports desk for about 2 months until the guy came back that kept me on. So I was doing various feature stories, and that was great. That was fun. And then the reporter that was on what they call the cops in court beat, he got fired. And so the editor says, "How would you like to do this?" Which meant basically I would go out in the morning to the various police agencies in the Oroville area, Sheriff's Office, Oroville Police, CHP, and pick up stories from the arrests the night before.
Wow.
And then in the afternoon, if there's time, go out to the court and see some of these cases being tried. And so I was fascinated with court. And I said, "Geez, this looks fun."
And how old are you at the time?
Oh God, I've got to be about like 22.
Wow. And this year, this is 1970.
About 72.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I want to talk about the changes you've seen in that time, but let's finish this story first. So
I'm thinking. And so I worked at the newspaper and did that, and also had the opportunity to go to South America and be the Oroville Mercury foreign correspondent for about 3 months down in South America.
Jeez, Oroville was doing all kinds of stuff with their newspaper. That's amazing.
Which basically sounds much more than it was. I had grown up in Oroville, across the street from a reporter for the Chico Enterprise that would about 3 years go off on what, in my young mind, was a grand adventure.
Yeah.
He'd go off someplace in the world, climb a mountain. He was a mountain climber, do something, and write stories back about it. And I always told him, "Nick," and it's Nick Elena, and I says, "Nick, when I grow up, I want to go with you on one of these adventures."
Yeah.
Well, not too long after I'm hired full time at the newspaper, Nick says, "I'm going to South America. I'm going to bum me a backpack around down there." And I go, "Damn, I just got this job." I don't shoot. So I go to the editor, and he says,
Got this idea.
"Yeah, this is I need to do this." And he says, "Okay, well, that's fine. Why don't you write stuff and send back art, take pictures, and send that back." Now, this is well before the internet. So what happened is I was there, and I had saved up my money for this trip, so I'm not employed at this necessarily at this time. But they, after a few months down there and sending back handwritten stories and pictures in little post offices and mailed the 35 millimeter canisters back, I found out that they were running my stuff 2-3 times a week on page 3, full page 3. And
You came back and you were a celebrity foreign correspondent. Yeah,
so,
that's amazing.
But then I came back to the cops and courts, and so I was doing that and just got more and more interested in saying, I think I can do this. But what I wanted to be was a defense attorney. Because some of the cousins really wanted me to be a defense attorney.
Okay.
They have their own in-house lawyer, as it were.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay.
But also, still the Berkeley part of me, that I said, okay, hearkening back, because I went to Berkeley during the good years, the late 60s, and Mario Savio and the free speech movement and so forth. And I'll always remember one speech I heard says, we need to throw our bodies into the unyielding cogs of the capitalist system to save our poor and downtrodden and innocent folks. And okay, that stuck with me. And I felt that was kind of a calling. I said, okay, I've been watching this, and I wrote stories and so forth, and I thought, this is where I want to be. This is what I'd like to do, is to defend the innocent, to defend people.
Can you repeat that quote? That was excellent. We have to throw our bodies into the cogs of capitalism to defend the poor and downtrodden.
Of the unyielding capitalist cog.
Wow.
Is it cogs? So
fascinating. Okay, wow. So that struck. You had a strong sense of, I do want to defend people and to stick up for justice.
Yeah. So I was going to law school with the idea that in criminal justice, the criminal cases were what interests me. Civil would have just bored me out of my mind. And so with that, I went down to George School of Law down in Sacramento, full time. And after my first year there, I came back to work as an intern at the Butte County District Attorney's Office. This is 50 years ago. This is 1975.
Wow.
And the year of the big earthquake. But I was there, and there was another kind of earthquake moment for me, a life-changing moment, as it were. I had taken the job with the idea that, okay, I'm going to be in the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
I will learn everything of that, what the prosecutors do, know how they put the case, so I can take them apart.
Yeah.
So I can be, really a very good defense attorney. And so as I was working there, I found out first, the fine deputy district attorneys, many of them who became judges later, that they didn't have a lot of time to prosecute innocent people. There was just too many guilty people around to waste a lot of time on innocent folk. And then the what I call the case of the Grand Theft Catfish, the life-changing case in my life came in.
Catfish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, I'm hooked.
Okay, very good.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying this installment of Community Builders. Video production can be a great way to elevate your business. Hit us up at studio@metrocosmetics.com to learn more about our recruitment and training videos. Now let's get back to the episode.
A case came in from the Butte County Sheriff's Office, and that case was of a young man from Oroville. I think he was about 18, 19, and they were requesting the charges of grand theft because he stole a catfish from the catfish farm.
A single catfish?
A single catfish.
A single catfish.
A big catfish.
Okay, how big?
No, this was at least about 30 incher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
it was big. It was a big one.
Yeah.
But and this was the commercial catfish farm that as you go from Chico to Oroville on 99, just before you turn off 149 to go to Oroville.
Is that the place with the big catfish?
There's no catfish anything left. But as you're going on 99, and then you're gonna, just before you go up the hill to get to 149, turn left. Look over to the left, and you see those levees there. Those used to be catfish ponds for a commercial catfish farm that would raise catfish, sell them to local restaurants.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, back then, again, this is 1975, the difference between petty theft and grand theft was $200.
Okay.
Except if it was an agricultural product. If it was an agricultural product, then you're looking at a felony. Now you're looking at a hard time.
Okay.
Now you're looking at the big house.
Right. Over a catfish. Okay.
And so this, the report came over, and he went at midnight with his pole and snagged this particularly big catfish. And so I'm looking at him going, okay, damn it. I don't want to be part of this system, send this poor kid to prison over a catfish. So I said, okay, now, law student, particularly a first year, like, okay, where's the holes in this case?
Yeah.
Start practicing the defense right away. Well, wait a minute, they don't have the catfish. So, the body of the crime, corpus delicti. Aha.
Possession.
So, that'd be a fatal flaw to this. Except our young rocket scientist here had taken, I think it was 5 Polaroid pictures of himself. Catfish.
Right, of course. He couldn't resist that.
And then passed them out to various bait shops in Oroville.
Oh, what?
And so I'm going, alrighty, well, that defense is gone. Maybe there would be a defense that he just happened to be wandering out there and with a pole just looking for a pond.
It's an attractive nuisance or something, right?
Just there had to be a pond there. Didn't know. Oh, my gosh.
Right.
Oh, I caught a catfish.
Was
that
signage?
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
No. The sheriff's deputy said fully Mirandized him, and he had fully confessed that, he went out there with the intent to catch a catfish, and knowing it was a commercial catfish. All righty. Darn. At that point, the elected district attorney, Ken Leach, a very fine man, and he came in, and he says, hey, what you doing? And so I kind of explained to him, so I'm really uncomfortable with this, and he goes, what the heck are they teaching you in law schools these days? I've always been good at picking up on clues. Decided, okay, here's a clue. Well, what do you mean? He says, you don't know what the DA does? You don't know about prosecutorial discretion? Don't tell me. Sure.
Enlighten me.
And he says, police don't make the charges. They send cases over, and they have recommended charges. Now, in some states, that's what happened. That's all. The DA says, okay, that's it, and that's we go. No, here we make the decision. We make the decision as to what is an appropriate charge or no charge. We can say, nah, justice demands that we don't bring, or in a case, particularly in a felony, a very powerful discretionary call is charge it as a misdemeanor. And so
Interesting.
he says, is this kid guilty? And I said, well, yeah, I mean,
See
okay.
the Polaroids. Yeah.
Then don't worry about the felony. Put a note on it, charged as a misdemeanor, suggest a fine to the judge, and we'll move on. Justice done. And at that point, figuratively, the light bulb went over my head. Ding. And I says, okay, I'm in this to do justice.
There we go. That's what I like. Yeah.
That was my idea, the cogs and everything else is to justice, fairness. And I thought, by God, now if I was a defense attorney and a hard-hearted DA had charged this kid with a felony to, make a point that, we're going to save our catfish.
Yeah,
and then got in front of a hard-hearted judge that said, okay, we're going to send a message to this community. You're going to prison for this. And back then it was indeterminate terms. So, okay, 3 to 5 or something like that. And then as a defense attorney, my only argument would be the argument that I would later learn very well with some defense attorneys, the whining defense. But, Your Honor, it's not fair. But still your client's going away. But if you're inside the system, if you're making those justice decisions, if you're making the ability to take some of the hard edges off of the law, not just look at the law as black and white, but know, because all humans are fallible, all humans, many deserve second chances, many deserve not to have a record, and so forth. This is, I can do justice. And I go, bink, this is what I'm going to do. Because, sorry, you're on your own.
Your plans, okay,
and then
so
from that point on, my star was set.
That's what you wanted
to be a prosecutor.
I absolutely love that framing. You're looking for maximizing how much you can stand up for people, how much justice you can do, how much you can really accomplish what you set out for, which is to help.
Yeah.
Right? And you very carefully kind of watched and saw this as the position to do this. And it has worked out. You are now, give me the exact terminology, you're the longest serving
DA in California.
That's incredible.
So it's been 38 years as the elected DA, and I've been in the office as a deputy district attorney. I was sworn in on May 1st, 1978. So I got 47 years as a prosecutor. I worked Sacramento DA's office for a few months before the opening on May 1st. And there was kind of a fun story on my swearing in. It was particularly important because it was my mom's birthday.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so as I told my mom, who was terrified when she sent her young, innocent son from Oroville down to the big city of Berkeley, where I'd never been before, and this horrible liberal college, and that she was terrified. As she said, "Oh God, you're going to come back either a revolutionary, a communist, or a hippie." And on May 1st, 1978, her birthday, I'm sworn in, and her birthday dinner says, "Mom, Deputy DA, you were afraid," and I told her that story, and I said, 2 out of 3 in bad.
She did it. Yeah, congratulations to her. Okay. So 3 things. I'm resisting the urge to ask you about best fishing spots in town. I want to talk about what we've seen change since 78 to now, but I also want to ask you before we go there, you did a lot of stuff before you ended up in this final role, from, tutelage under Ted Kaczynski to the cannery, to South America, to writing for newspapers. Do you think all that varied experience helped make you good at what you do now?
I think so, absolutely. Because what you want to do is know the full range of human
Yeah.
interaction, human emotions, and so forth. And I love, stories.
Yeah.
My dad was a natural storyteller,
Yeah.
and kind of rubbed off on me. But the idea of being able to just see the different folks I had right after college, before I kind of did the substitute teaching, I had an opportunity to take my Honda 450 and travel across the United States.
Wow. Yeah.
For about 2 months, and just throw a backpack on and go up the northern route, down the eastern seaboard, and down through the south and back, and just meet. I was searching for America.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that time.
Which is great. And kind of what I'm getting at is that I think understanding people, right, and understanding different kinds of people, whether you work at a cannery or you teach at UC Berkeley, you can learn so much, and having that knowledge, it makes you have an understanding of like, maybe I should stick up for this guy who stole a catfish, right? Because in the scheme of things, now that I've seen the spectrum, I now have the capacity to say like, give this kid a second chance, give him a break. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just in the sense of, when we say justice, it's rather an amorphous term. And so we have a kind of motto or mission statement that not too long after I became the DA, I put in place, which is, our mission is to do justice as no one is above the law, nor beneath its protection. And so it says, kind of both sides.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to that catfish moment of saying, okay, we in the DA's office as prosecutors, we're looking at doing justice not only for victims,
That's right.
but for defendants.
That's right.
And so and then that leads us into, for our community, what are we doing to make our community a better place and a safer place?
Yeah.
But not so safe that everyone, you can have a hell of a safe community if you lock everyone up and don't let anyone out, and you have a curfew and all that stuff. But that would not be a community we want to live in. We want to live in a community that has quirky people, that has, a vibrant, arts and culture and everything else. And, the Butte County community is very, very special.
And I want to talk a little more about that, because I wholeheartedly agree. I think this is a singularly one of the best places in the world.
Oh, yeah.
What is it that you like, and that you, having been here for such a long time, what do you love about?
Is that saying old? Thank you.
Oh no. Just since in the Ted Kaczynski to now range, it hasn't been that long, has it? What is it that makes this community so special? Why is Chico and Butte County so amazing?
It's hard to quantify unless you go out of the community and you come back and you see, gosh, I went there thinking that this would be different, but gosh, it's really it's comfortable. The people in the Butte County community, even though different communities and a little bit different culture in each. But kind of the unifying thing is that folks genuinely like each other.
Yeah.
Genuinely, you pass someone on the street, you're usually going to go, hi, yo,
right.
how's it going? That type of thing.
Right.
You have people that have their various interests, whether it's hunting, fishing, biking, snowboarding, whatever.
Yeah.
It's centrally located for you to, run up and go snowboarding or whatever, or go over to the coast. But in and of itself, you got your mountains, you've got your valley, the river is very kind of almost spiritual in a way.
Yeah.
And I can
I
go
agree
back
with
to
that.
where my Kind of the native part of the family goes back to the times of being there and running around in the hills with my dad.
Yeah.
The geography sometimes drives the very special place, but its size also is really rather interesting. It's kind of a Goldilocks in a way.
That's right.
With particularly government. Most of the really large jurisdictions, people that are in places that have levers of power or whatever, they don't know each other. There's siloing. There's huge amounts of siloing of don't know that person, and but here that we are large enough that we have some resources to work with, but small enough that everyone kind of knows everyone, and generally they want to do the right thing for their community.
Hard agree. And that's one of the hypotheses I want to try to prove with this show, is that when you talk to people, and especially in this community, when you get to know them, we do want to do the right, we care. And this is a community that you may think differently than the people around you, but that doesn't mean you can't have like a unity of what we want to get done at the end of the day. What have you seen change since 78 to now? Do we have the same level of problems? Is it different? Have the problems shifted, or the challenges, I guess I should say?
Yeah. Well, I've seen in the criminal justice system kind of the pendulum swing back and forth as to, okay, well, by God, we're going to 3 strikes, and we're gonna do anyone that does like a 3rd felony, by God, he's going to go to prison for the rest of their life. But again, part of the, and again, beauty of discretion with being a prosecutor is the fact that you can take a look at the human being that you're saying. And we have a process, and I started it long ago on any 3-strike case or any case in which we're looking at someone going away for life. That we have a review and my deputies have to review it with me. We look deeply into the person's background, criminal history, and say, is this a person that we should put away for life or not?
Yeah.
Is this a person is this person that dangerous?
Yeah.
That we need to put them in life doesn't mean life in California. Right. It means you're going to be in until such time as a parole board says, now it's safe to let you out.
Yeah.
And that's a fairly good system in a way, because sometimes with what we call determinate sentencing, you can send someone and you say, okay, we're going to send you for 3 years with credit for time served, credit for good time, and so forth, that you'll be out in a year and a half. The person says, year and a half, I don't have to do anything. I am out. I don't have to work my way out. Here's my out date. Screw the rest of you, or you can be a miserable human being and get, less commissary or something, but not necessarily longer time.
Right.
But on some of the dangerous folks, and we're looking at life, we're saying, okay, you got to work your way out.
Yeah.
Be it 7 to life, 10 to life, 15 to life, 25 to life. That at the end of that lower period of time, now you're going to go for a parole board. Have you worked the program? Have you worked treatment? Have you worked to make sure that you have a changed human being? And the decision is, are you a different human being now before this parole board than you were the miserable human being that you were, that hurt people and killed people and so forth. So, but over those years, like I say, where the pendulum has swung back and forth, a little concerned more recently that the legislature has taken kind of the tact that Well, we don't trust the system to do the right thing. So therefore, we're going to put in various brakes on the system that, quite frankly, don't do a lot for public safety, don't allow people to take accountability. A lot of diversion programs without appropriate supervision. And so that causes me concern too, because what I prefer is just like kind of with your children, and many times the criminal mindset is a very, I won't say childlike, but it's kind of the child's selfishness, and that's what drives a lot of criminality. Is kind of a selfishness, and it's mine.
Right.
It's mine.
Right.
Not yours. And it's my feelings.
Or like it wasn't fair and I deserve.
Yeah. All of that. So what you want to do is say, okay, we're going to sit you down for a while. Going to put you in the corner. And so contemplate. Well, as you get older, the time gets longer. And I've had opportunities for people that come back, and I see them in the community that I've sent to prison for some time.
What is that like?
Usually pretty gratifying.
Yeah.
By virtue of the fact that they've changed their life.
Right.
Because just as a story, I was going to, where was it? Butte County Fair down in Gridley. Going across the parking lot, and I had my daughters with me. And I saw the guy pushing a stroller, a little baby in it. And of course, it's during the summer, it's warm. And so this guy's he's all tatted. He's got sleeve tatting, and I can recognize prison tats. And as he's going, he looks at me and, oh, hey, Mr. Ramsey. And I go, okay, girls, go ahead. Just
just keep it
keep go.
Just in case.
Dad'll take care of this.
Yeah.
And so the guy says, "Hey, I just wanted to say something to you." And I said, "Oh, okay, what's that?" And he says, "You put me in prison." I didn't particularly remember him. He says, "Yeah, you put me in for about 5 years, and I spent and thought I'd let you know, spent the first 3 years contemplating how, when I got out, I was going to kill you and how I was going to kill you and so forth. And because I was really ticked, and I says, well, I hope you've changed your mind on that. Keep going, Gross.
Exactly, a little faster.
and he's, oh, yeah. He says, after about 3 years, I looked in the mirror in my cell, and I saw the problem.
Wow.
And then I actually started treatment programs and so forth, therapy programs. And I started doing that. And I turned my life around.
Wow.
And this little girl here, the stroller is my pride and joy. And I want to thank you, because I wouldn't be here with this little one.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be doing a better life without you changing my life arc. Okay, well, that's good. So I do a lot of life arc changing.
I think that's, that makes this job sound really desirable. That sounds like an opportunity to really, literally change lives.
Yeah, and it's, and I'm in a hiring phase right now. Measure H came through.
Apply.
yeah, please.
Yeah.
So part of our process of making sure it's the right candidate for us is a new kind of law student that's just out of law school, or a new attorney will come in, and they are expecting a panel, maybe 3 senior deputy DAs. Now we bring them into a room where I have all my deputy district attorneys.
Wow.
And so I say, okay, you're going to do an opening statement on this fact. This is your jury. And later, this will be your judges, because we're going to be asking you questions, and we're asking hypothetical legal questions and stressing this person. Because as a prosecutor, you're expected to be a trial attorney. Being a trial attorney is fairly stressful. I mean, there's lots of information coming in. You've got to be on top of your game with the law, the facts. You've got a judge, you've got a jury, you've got a defense attorneys objecting, and so forth. So you need to
Conviction and charisma.
Yeah, you've got to be, tiptoeing on tap dancing.
Yeah.
So we'll see how these folks work on that. But we go through the hypotheticals, and the last hypothetical is a hypothetical in which we say, you've been assigned a case, you have made, you've looked at all of the evidence, body cams, reports, everything. You've interviewed all of the witnesses, what we call pretrial, all of the witnesses. We are, and you have come now to a doubt as to whether or not this person you're about to try the next day is guilty. What do you do? And, I guess I'll check it with my doubt. Anyone can have a doubt. There's a jury instruction that says, you prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt, not any doubt. And I said, okay, no, that's good. So you a reasonable person? Yeah. Okay. Let's assume your doubt is reasonable. Okay. Well, I'd really explore it and so forth, and, we want you over there trying that case. Well, yeah, okay. I talked to my supervisor and see if something might change my mind. But I said, no, your mind hasn't been changed. You still have that gut feeling. You have that.
What an interesting
doubt,
exercise, yeah.
So, I wouldn't try it, of course, if I believed that the person was really innocent. I says, no. Our system is set up that you have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. He doesn't have to prove his innocence. And so, okay, let me tell you, you are such a good attorney that you are so much of an advocate. With the evidence that you got, you can convict this person. There's no doubt you can convict this person. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. It's not up to me. It's up to the jury. I just take it before the jury. So you're going to go over there and tell the jury you can convict this person beyond a reasonable doubt, ladies and gentlemen, jury. What are you, some sort of hypocrite? Because you're the one that's
right.
Oh, well, no, but okay. So now we're bouncing them back and forth, because I've set this up as, okay, is this an ethical question? Is this I will do the job, that I'm a soldier,
right,
to go in. And so some say, oh no, well, I just, that's my job, is to go and convict this person. And they go that way, or they'll go, no, I'd feel really reluctant to do that. I'd try to maybe get someone else to do it. And we say, okay, well, you've gone through this supervisor, and we pick out supervisors in the audience, and they put them through the paces, and they finally say, go see Ramsey. And I said, okay, now I'm talking to you, and you've talked over your reasonable doubt. And I said, okay, you've got a year in, bud. I got 47. I've looked over the case. This is a good case. You can convict this person. I want you over there. Well, no. You're going over there and trying that case. I want your badge and key on my desk right now. Ones we hire say badge and key. I will not go and try a person that I have my own reasonable doubt on.
I mean, I hope this is resonating with people, because the potential to do the right thing and to have that actually impact human lives, like, I can't think of many positions that afford that more than yours.
Yeah.
I sense such a compassion from you. And even in your framing of earlier, when you said, maybe this kid who stole a catfish gets in front of a hard-hearted prosecutor or a hard-hearted judge or DA, Why is that a distinction? And there's something so human about that, right? Because you don't know. Every attorney, every judge, they may be softer, they may be harder. Why do we kind of need both? And what is important about both?
The people that administer the law have to administer the law with the understanding that it's a human thing, but they also have to administer the law with the understanding that it is the law. That we don't say this is a nation of men. It's a nation of law, and particularly under in these times, that is so important to remember. That whether you got $1 billion or $2, you are entitled to the same justice.
Yeah, I love that.
And so
that's so
that
excellent.
Concerns me right now on some of what we see at the higher levels.
Sure.
So, but that is so important for a community. I mean, we want a community that holds people accountable.
Yeah.
And so that people don't say, I got away with that, because that just says now the next person. Okay, hey, we can get away with this, and then that has a corrosive effect upon the community. But we don't want to throw everyone in jail or prison. We don't have the room. But one of the myths and things that we were talking about, kind of going back to over the years, what has happened is that California prisons, back in, I think it was hit its height about 2006, I think it was about 170,000 prisoners. And we have now, and we've seen it go down, various different laws and so forth that have changed, some to the good, but quite frankly, the legislature is not trusting people within the system is a concern. It's down to now 90,000, so it's almost half of what it was.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like we've had half as many.
Yeah, well, the problem, and even Jerry Brown, during the time he was governor, saw that what had happened with our system, and where it became the idea of mass incarceration. We were stuffing too many people into too few prisons. And what had happened back in 70s, 80s, 90s, as people were saying, we want to have a safer community. We want these various bad actors to be in prison, not forever. That's not going to happen, but certainly getting them in away from us for a while. That California didn't keep up with its population increase. You increase a population, that increase in population naturally means there's a certain percent.
Yeah.
And so they just stopped building prisons. And by stop building prisons, then prisons became a little more inhumane in the sense that you're putting people double cell, triple cell, putting them in the gyms, putting them in the hallways. And so the federal government said, let's stop.
To me, it would make sense if we're going to stop building prisons or reducing that we have to also supplement that with other facilities for people. Otherwise, like you said, it ends up with just less humane prisons.
Yeah, and also it became, unfortunately, when you start stuffing that many people, then you don't have room for treatment. You don't have room for people to a place for a classroom, to talk about why you did what you did, and to be treated and so forth. Prisons right now are much more rehabilitative because they've got a little more room and opportunity, and that is wonderful. I mean, and I'd like to send more people to get rehabilitated during our prison system.
Do you think this community in particular is less safe, more safe, same but different?
I would say about About the same.
About the same.
Now, of course, that would be of kind of a selfish system. I've been around so long, so my God, it better be safe.
Yeah.
Because it could come back and say, okay, well, whose responsibility is it? No, by golly, it is one safe community. Except about 2 a.m. on Halloween.
Fair.
I've been in Chico at 2 a.m. And
That's funny.
It was a thing. I'd come over on the Halloween, and my standard Halloween dress was a camouflage.
Oh, funny.
My duck hunting outfit. And the police over here would go, "Oh my God, it's the Invisible Man. Where is he?
Right.
We don't see him."
You can keep an eye easier that way.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Treat Street was really fun. That was 2 p.m. this Halloween. I remember growing up, the public service announcements on TV of like, don't go to Chico for Halloween. Don't bring your out-of-town friends in. It was a stabbing in Chevys at one point, back when there was a Chevys.
Yeah. And it got, and there was, what was it? It was in the newspaper here recently, a retrospective of the, 25 years ago, 50 years ago, and so forth. And they were talking about 25 years ago. That the Chico Halloween was getting pretty much out of control, which was unfortunate because previous to that, it was kind of a fun thing.
Right.
Come down with some friends. We'd be went over a bar.
Yeah.
And as people come by, we'd have cards there, 5, oh, that's an 8. Oh, hey, you with no clothes, 10. Be grading the folks as they come back. And unfortunately, kind of a little cultural thing, a little too much booze, a little too much going on, but we got better control on that. And one of it was to take every drunk college student to jail to experience the Butte County Jail drunk tank as a life lesson.
Did that curb the?
I think it did. Quite frankly, it wasn't a thing of trying to be overly punitive, but when you are in a tank with 30 other people, and
it's a moment of reflection.
Padded. Well, the reflection comes when the first person throws up. And there's just a hole in the middle of and you become awash.
That's right.
In various bodily fluids.
Right.
And say, I don't think I'll ever do that.
This isn't why I went to college. As we wind down, I want to make sure I create space. Is there anything else you want to say about the importance of why people should be interested in applying? For your offices?
Well, it's the job is it's a calling. It's a prosecutor. My prosecutors. It's not a job. It's an adventure. Well, it's not a job. It's a mission to see justice is done. And my guys are just as excited to say a case comes in and they look at it and they do a little investigation on their own and say, "Oop, wrong guy," or "Nope, not this guy." They're just as excited to say no as they are to say yes and convict that guy. So that's that's kind of the beauty of being able to wear the white hat at all times and always do kind of the right thing and the right time and so forth. And now with Measure H for the right pay.
That's right. Okay. So not only that, excellent compensation if you have a low threshold for boredom, if you're looking for adventure, if you have a sense of justice and want to do right in this community, I highly recommend you look into working with this man. I'm so grateful you're in this community. Thank you for all of your work in this long time, in this place that I live, that my family lives.
My family lives.
Very appreciative that you care.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Mike.
All right.